Now, my next guest, you may recognise as one of the stars of Lord of the Rings. He was gambling, but his personal life is almost more of an adventure. In 2018, Bruce Hopkins hiked Te Araroa to raise money for grandparents raising grandchildren. It's a charity that he is deeply passionate about, being a lovely and loving granddad himself. He raised more than $30,000. In 2022, after learning he had cancer while hiking the links of New Zealand, he took on a more unique challenge. See, Bruce loves swimming around his local area of Herne Bay, and he took to back flipping off a wharf. So for his 67th birthday, he did 67 backflips. Maybe because he's a glutton for punishment. The next year, on his 68th, he did it again. And as we roll into 2025, Bruce has decided to, yes, you've guessed it, go back to the wharf for 69 back somersaults to mark his 69th birthday, which was late November last year. But this time around, there is a bit of a twist to it. And we'll find out what it is very shortly because he joins me now. Bruce, good afternoon.
Kia ora.
It is so, kia ora, my friend. It is so lovely to talk to you, Bruce.
It's always cool to talk to you. You always have such a smile on your face.
Oh, well, I've talked you up all day saying that you're one of life's good guys, always out there helping people. Every time I text you, Bruce, you're off doing something, reading for the blind, or you're doing something helping old ladies across the road. I mean, you're just one of those people.
Yeah, you don't get to see the points in time, and there have been many when I'm a dickhead. Oh yes.
Oh yes.
There's been many an occasion when I've been a dickhead.
I get it.
And
hey,
and it can come in various forms, whether it's something you do or something you say or just an attitude you take. I get very conscious. It's what I enjoy about, I guess, getting older and kind of experiencing stuff, just becoming aware. I got into meditation many years ago, and it's just a part of what I do each day now, when I get up. And part of that, the whole thing that spins off from meditation is just trying to be aware. So, it doesn't mean your thoughts go away or being a dickhead goes away. It just means you're aware you are. You become aware. You go, oh, right. Yeah, no, I'll apologise. I can apologise now because I'm aware I was the dickhead.
I've always been interested in meditation, Bruce, and I've got a few friends that do it, and they say they do it first thing in the morning, and it's helped their careers and all sorts of things. But that's another topic, but I should get into that. Yeah. Anyway, Bruce, my friend, before we get into your somersaults as well and what you're hoping to achieve and what you're going to be doing, I just want to go back a step or so about your association with grandparents raising grandchildren for our listeners as well. I might not be aware of this fantastic association. It goes back some years for you, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, as you mentioned, when I hiked the 3,000-kilometre Te Araroa, I actually was doing it for my own reasons, kind of about me trying to figure out who the hell I am, where I'm from, because I was born fourth-generation Rakiura, Stewart Island, and then we moved when I was about 3 up to Russell and Kororareka when it was a tiny little village still. And I've always felt kind of, where do I belong? And so that's in a bizarre way, when I found out about Te Araroa, that this thing that Jeff Chappell had created, Jeff Chappell, the amazing Jeff Chappell, I thought, that's it. That's the secret to my solving my where am I from question, because I'm from this land. But as I was gearing myself up, I was psyching myself up. I'm not a tramper, so I was training, I was researching it, and then I thought, well, it can't just be for me. So it has to be for something else as well, fundraising. And I don't know how I first heard of grandparents raising grandchildren, but I'm a grandparent myself. I have 4 grandchildren now. And, one of the oldest is about to turn 17. So he was, 7, 10 back when I did this. And so, just the thought, the idea as a grandparent, what I found becoming a grandparent was when they're old enough that you're going to get sleepovers and stuff, it's like, cool, yeah. And when you're just before sleepovers, it's cool. You can be the most spoiling person in the world. But when you start having sleepovers, you realise, oh, shit, I'm knackered. And that was just one night.
Yeah.
So there are all these people out there who have stepped in, usually because of trauma and violence. Meth addiction is the major cause.
Contributor. Yeah.
Yeah, these days of grandparents just having to step in. And when they do, they have to go to court. They have to get guardianship, or else they don't qualify for any state assistance.
Jeez.
Because they're whānau, their family.
Yeah.
But they have to battle their own child in court.
Oh.
It's horrific.
So Bruce, sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to make it a little bit clear for the listeners. So, what I saw was that grandparents raising grandchildren provide support for over 9,000 grandparents that have taken on raising over 16,000 grandkids around the country, and some are raising multiple grandkids, and as you said, they don't get the support unless they've got to go to court, and a lot of the reasons is sadly their children have had these children, but they might have meth addictions and other problems, so they can't raise their kids. So I kind of just wanted to give how big it really is. Yeah.
And there are many people out there who, they'll take on. They'll go, no, come on, babies are with me, or the children are with me, because it's up till the age of 18 that they can have guardianship. But if they try to get assistance without having the legal guardianship, they can be turned down, and many of them don't have the confidence to go back to a government bureaucracy and agents and say, wait on. I believe, they don't have that confidence to take on a denial of some kind of support or assistance. So it's a brutal thing, and it's done through love. The reason these grandparents do it is pure love.
Yeah.
That's why they take this on.
You witnessed it yourself. I mean, didn't you stay with a couple while you were doing the Te Araroa Odyssey? Tell me a bit about them.
Yeah. Actually, it ties into what you alluded to before. I don't have cancer now, but the surgeon, when I discovered during my hike that I was urinating black liquid.
Oh.
By the time I got to Te Kuiti, it had been happening 3 days, and it was starting to hurt. And so I went straight to the medical centre. I got there just before it closed on a Friday or Thursday.
Oh,
and I had to wait till Monday for my blood test to come back. And so I contacted grandparents raising grandchildren and said, look, my option is I'm in the campground. I'm here for 4 days. Is there anyone who'd let me put my tent up in their backyard and maybe use their shower? I'd love to have that luxury. And this family, I got this reply saying, this couple, he'll come and pick you up from the medical centre, and you can stay with them. And I stayed in the house, had, breakfast. I was with them with their 6-year-old grandson, and through the weekend, Santa Parade that weekend. And so I witnessed, no sleeping, eh?
Yeah.
There's no grandparents sleeping in the weekends. What? Oh, we've got to go to this, sport, if there's sports, and school during the weekday. Up and ready for school, breakfast, do your homework.
And as you alluded to before, Bruce, they do it for love, and absolutely, but they've raised their children, and now you've got 60, 70-year-olds having, it's exhausting. I mean, hard enough when they were in their 30s, 40s, and now they're supposed to be enjoying their sunset years. Yeah. And you're right, they're up in the morning early making lunches, going off to school things, and it must be so difficult for
going to work themselves. Most of them are not, affluent. They're not. They don't have multiple house investments or anything. They're still having to work to pay their bills. Yeah. Just pension. Most people on the pension, either it doesn't mean anything to you and it's just over there, or you work it into the family, your family or whatever, or you can save it up for a particular thing, indulgence that you want to have. But otherwise, the pension's not going to be enough to pay your bills.
Oh, heck no. Heck
So,
no.
you know,
So-
that's why you have to have that, you know, you meant to have those say, I'm coming up 70, I'm still working, I have my own little company, but I didn't, you know, I didn't play the game in terms of understanding how financially, you know, I've owned a couple of houses, but never, I would, when I sold, I didn't sort of already be lined up to buy back in, and unfortunately property is the main the main route
Yeah.
to independence in an older
Yes.
in your older
As
age.
an older person. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Bruce,
So it's all
Brucey,
fascinating, you know.
no,
Yep.
it is.